So yeah, I'll speak a little bit on more of a business lens, I guess. So streets are for people. I just want everyone to think about those four words. Most of the time when we think of a street, we automatically think cars. We often forget that streets belong to the people as well, right? Like the cyclists that Tim was just talking about, rollerbladers, dog walkers, joggers, etc. There's much more to streets than vehicles, and we feel that it's necessary on many levels to prioritize people over cars. Um, we want to make Amherstburg more of a pedestrian and cyclist friendly town. Cyclists are coming from everywhere, South Windsor, LaSalle, Leamington. We get a ton here in Amherstburg, especially in the downtown area. There's many hot spots down there for them. They stop at Downtown Espresso, Caffeine and Co, Happier Camper, just to get that little fuel and pep to get back to where they started from, right? So also the open streets are necessary for a healthy and post-pandemic in Amherstburg. And we're not talking about like closing all the streets down and making people walk to Windsor. When I'm talking open streets, one example of this is last year's open air, the summer event when they closed off Dalhousie Street for a few months, where the businesses were able to expand their spaces onto the streets. And that created a unique and fun summer event for everyone to really distinguish Amherstburg from the other surrounding towns. And also, it's good for the post-pandemic because we don't know, like people might still be scared to go inside businesses, right? So if we have that extra space as businesses, we don't know if we can only have a maximum of 10 people, 5 people, or if we can have anybody inside at all. So having that extra space outside really helps businesses and provides obviously more seating for them. Having the open streets are supported by business data, international best practices, and science. It will generate more revenue for the downtown businesses. So from a business standpoint, the studies prove that local businesses rely on walk-in visits by customers who stumble upon them while strolling without any prior intention on shopping there. That being said, the drivers passing through the town, they might not be motivated to stop and explore. You just keep going. And the fast flowing traffic through your downtown doesn't boost the economy of your downtown. It actually helps people leave the town faster, right? So we also know that the open air event has been approved again for this year by a 4-2 vote or by council. We think the focus shouldn't be on whether it's going to happen every single year or not. I believe that like the open air should be an annual fixture for the town. We need to focus on how it can be adapted and made even better each year and through experience, right? We just trial and error, see what you can do and what you can provide. And the businesses should get really creative and stuff. So perhaps the 2022 town budget could also include investments for street furniture. I know Artisan Grill did that last year. It was amazing. It beautified the downtown. It was so inviting and everyone wanted to go there. They wanted to sit on the lounge, have a glass of wine. So they did a really good job last year. Also, the budget could maybe include a little more entertainment, as well as making conversions more simple and quick to tear down and set up like automatic bollards. Lastly, a longer term redesign of streets could be possibly closing the far west end of Murray Street permanently. Next slide. So this picture here, I don't know if you guys can read it, but it says, good cities know that streets are for people, not just for cars. Great cities know that streets are for places to linger and live, not just move through. And this photo does a wonderful example of explaining this. Yeah, and it kind of just leads to the fundamental confusion between a street and a road. A street should be for people to congregate, to shop, socialize, and do all the human things that produce value for our community. And a road should be for more higher speed, efficient connection from two places. I'm going to leave this open to anyone and see if they recognize this town. If you want to unmute and just go ahead and say if you know what this is. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got seen in the chat. Rob said Harrow. Yeah. So this is Harrow. So Harrow just approved a street design of their major street and I think one of their side streets. And this photo here is what Harrow is going to be turning their downtown into. This is a key example how other small towns that surround us are moving forward and investing to make their communities more safe, more pedestrian friendly, and even more beautiful. So there's no doubt that Amherstburg can do similar. So this photo here, it was taken during the open air last year on Dalhousie Street. It was a great time. It got people out of their houses and, you know, roam around freely and explore and enjoy the event. There's a lot of people, and you can see in the top right photo, there's a ton of people. There's ton of lineups and stuff. And when we're talking about like people walking from one street to another, say you're from, I don't know, just throw out LaSalle, and you're like, okay, I'm going to Salty Dog tonight. Well, there's a big lineup. Okay, you know what? We'll wait and we'll walk around. And then you take a look around and you're like, oh, you know, there's a sushi place here. I didn't know that. So then they end up getting sushi or something and go back to Salty Dog the next day. So it creates more awareness in the area when you're by foot and walking around, and you know it can help other businesses as well if they didn't know you were there. So performing arts, they're really important for the open streets. In fact, when we presented this slide to Councillor Peru, he really supported this idea. He thought it was really great and agreed with our thoughts on this. So if we invested a little more into performing arts in downtown Amherstburg, this will really animate and activate the streets and really distinguish our remarkable town. It'll create more life down there and more people. And then if you have more people will go into the businesses, shop around, and enjoy our town.
No doubt. Great job, Renee. Great job. So a couple of questions for you, Renee. One of which you've spoken very passionately about open streets. Um, Tell us about your experience, obviously with the cafe, but like why are you so passionate about it?
Um, I'm passionate about it because it's, you know, it's really fun, it's unique, and it, if you, from a business standpoint, if you really adapt and, you know, change certain things, you know, maybe some aren't successful with it and some aren't, but we're kind of hoping that, you know, these businesses can adapt and hopefully see the benefits of the wider community.
What improvements would you like to see for future years?
Um, Well, I guess we would just have to kind of go with the flow and see what works. Like this is a new event. Like last year was the first year we ever did this. And, you know, to me and to most, not all, it was very successful. But, you know, if we make some minor adjustments and stuff and just go with the flow and say, hey, this worked this year, this didn't work last year, let's try this, you know, it keeps you moving. It stops from everything from being so stale and monotonous, right? You don't want to go there and do the exact same thing over and over and over. You know, it's everything, you want everything to change. You want new things.
I think for myself, one of the things that I've noticed oftentimes, I'm not sure if it's just Amherstburg or if it's just, you know, when there's two sides to a story or two sides to an issue, is it either people often think it has to be one thing or the other. There can't be, you know, a workaround or make it work for everyone. You know, I know I would love to see more entertainment, more buskers, more, you know, something to kind of bring the crowds down, as opposed to just the empty streets with the restaurants being out. I think that would definitely help.
Right, I agree with you. And getting those things out will also provide more for the youth and for the younger people instead of like at night, you know, just sitting outside and having a beer. Like, what about those who aren't of age to drink and getting like even somebody doing magic tricks or anything like that? They had like the Moore brothers that played downtown last year, and the family, they did a jazz performance, and that was more of a family thing, and it was beautiful. It was packed, and it was a good time. I think Counselor MacArthur was down there, and he also plays as well. And yeah, just getting the youth and getting them more engaged as well, and being more family oriented. That's how we can change some things as well.